Everyone to Sunday's Heart to Heart. And I bet you're wondering by the title, when you just had enough, you thought, oh boy, Tessie, what are you talking about now? Well, everybody, this is going to be a light-hearted subject, but it's going to have some hidden meaning to it. You know, when you just had enough. And it says in the description box, Tales of the Hen House. Well, I'm in the hen house, and I'm going to tell you a little story today. And though this story may be humorous in a way, I think you're going to learn something from it. Honest with you, I was dreading this day because this day, Rose and Fina and Betty Jo, they're in with the hens for the first time. Now, as you've seen last week, I had them in the hen house, but they were sectioned off. Now they're in the hen house totally. And you know what it's like when you just had enough. Kind of like this chicken. Henrietta and Bertha are my chickens that are more aggressive. And they weren't too sure about these 3 young chicks coming into the hen house. And my story is going to share with you a lot about our human nature. Watching the animal kingdom is a lot like watching your own human behavior. And when Fina and Betty Jo and Rose came into this chicken house, you know, they were the new chickens on the block. And so a lot of these older hens were not sure about them. My story is about how it's like when you just had enough and you've been picked on in life. So Rose and Fina and Betty Jo decided that they had enough. When they first got in the hen house, every time they wanted to eat, when one would go up and wanting to eat, these larger hens, Bertha and Henrietta, would go after them and peck them. They could never get the feed. So I was watching the animal kingdom, and I was watching these chickens and how they would interact with one another, and I realized that something amazing was happening. And what was happening was, when one of the chicks would want to eat, the others would pick on it. But when they all came together, the chicks came to the food together, the chickens dared not pick on them because they fought back. How neat was it to watch this? So when one of the chicks would want to eat, Henrietta, the one that's making the biggest stink right now, she would peck them, but when they all got together, she thought twice about doing that. Isn't it how it is in our world? When we just had enough. So many times in life that we think that on our own we can do it. We can handle our life situations. We can handle everything in our life. But what we find is we can't. We can't handle our life on its own. And if we join together, something amazing can happen. And when we join together, we're able to face life's problems together. So many times we will find that somebody picks on somebody relentlessly, making fun of the way they look, making fun of the way they dress, and making fun of their front tooth. But when other people band together with that person and fight against the bullying of life, all of a sudden, it stops. The picking on that person stops. I don't know about you, but there was a time in my life where I was at a point where I was being picked on relentlessly. Day after day after day, I was being picked on. It got to the point where I just become used to it. I expected it. I looked for it. Then one of you, my very special subscribers, decided that you were going to help me out. You band with me and joined with me, and the picking stopped. Sometimes in life we just have enough. We just have enough. And when we join with others, changes can take place. I look back here because that's where they are right now, and I'll show you how they interact with the other chickens here in a moment. But I just think it's so amazing that even in the animal kingdom world, it's not much different than the world we live in. Shh. kingdom is not much different than our own. So many times you find a whole band of animals picking on one, but when that one is not alone and there's more that joins it, the picking stops. It's more of an even playing field, is like I like to call it. You know, the saying is, united we stand and divided we fall. So many times we're busy picking with one another that we really don't see the main enemy that comes our way. But if we join together in harmony and kindness and help each other out, it makes such a better world and it makes such a better place to live in. Sometimes when one person just has enough and they can't do it on their own, they turn around and look, and there's a whole band of brothers right behind them that are there helping them. That's what life should be like, my friends. It should be like Rose, and it should be like Betty Jo and Fina. That separate, they're so tiny compared to this big, large flock of birds. But together, they form one big bird, and they're able to retaliate back, and they're able to stop all of the fighting in the hen house. Are you fighting in your hen house of life today, my friends? Is there something going on in your life? Are the hens pecking at you and you feel like you just can't take it one more day? Just remember that you're not alone. You may be the small little chick in the big hen house of life, but you have friends that are there beside you who are helping you, who are guiding you, who are thinking of you and praying for you and helping you in tangible ways. And together, united we stand. Enjoyed this little lighthearted talk on a very heavy subject. But you know, sometimes the answers are right before our eyes, and sometimes God's creatures can teach us a lesson or two. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And let's see how Rose and Fina and Betty Jo are doing today in the big hen house of life. Notice how when they're all together, the big hens are actually half scared of them. Now, if one of them would just be here, these hens would be coming up and they would be pecking at them to give them the pecking order of life. But because they're all together, the hens are way down there. Isn't that how life is, my friends? So there you go, everyone. There's an update on my chicks with a little bit of a story for you. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. They sure are happy in the hen house.